produced. I always say that, you know, there's no script, and that's where they, keep that down a little bit, Aaron. That's where they get away with saying that it's not scripted, because they don't hand you a script. And that we got from season 1 to season 8, it was a well-oiled machine. I would go into makeup in the morning, and they would come in with their notes and what they would call what beats they wanted me to hit. And they would tell me, okay, so this is what's going to happen. Jill's going to call you, so look out for a phone call. Of course, we had to always put it on speaker.
Right.
So, you know, they would say, Jill's going to call you this morning. Right. And this is what Jill's going to talk about. But they wouldn't tell you, you know, now you say this. That's where spontaneity came in. But I was kind of laughing this morning. I was looking at, it was like the top 20 reality shows that are the most fake. And I was like expecting Dance Moms to be there at any moment, but it wasn't. And it was like, you know, a lot of the ones like Pawn Shop and all of that kind of stuff that you might think might have a little bit of reality. No, they're fake. They're all fake. I mean, well, the studio has actually been shut down since March 11th. Okay. And we did Zoom classes in June and July. We completely had to put our recital on hold. So it was very hard for us all to swallow that we were always number 2. You know, no matter, and occasionally they would let us win, but it was always when it was like an ulterior motive. Like one time we had this beautiful dance and she turned around and said, you know, you're going to win today because we have to shut production down. We're all going to Australia. So they're going to let you win on the end note. And so that was really frustrating and hard. And, you know, it was hard to take that because people would come up and say, your number was so much better. Your number should have won and all of that kind of stuff. And honestly, we didn't really have any control over the kid. We first started the show, the very first season, I would hear them and the producers in another room. They were discussing what the storyline was going to be. So there was a definite storyline. I mean, even Viví and I, our storyline, I would never drive to Pittsburgh to take Viví to dance. They just wanted us. They wanted us. Didn't know how to incorporate us because during our audition, I said to them, "I'm not what you're looking for." Because I am the dance teacher, and you can't see me anymore. I'm a dance teacher. My husband doesn't grumble about money, so I'm not that dance mom who has issues. And they were like, oh, no, you're funny. We want you.
Don't remember that much of it because I was so young. I really don't remember any of it, honestly. So I haven't really watched it either, so I don't really have an opinion, I guess.
It's funny because on the show, Christy loved to say things. She said some really funny things about me, and of course I said some really funny things about her that are iconic sayings that, you know, come around constantly to haunt us. But getting back to season 2, there was a huge altercation after the cameras went down. And it was between Christy and I. And it was really, I mean, the Beverly Hills Police came. It was really quite traumatic. And we had to film the reunion show like 2 or 3 days after this all went down. So we were all stuck in LA together. And she did apologize to me, and it was kind of like there were a couple things that happened during season 1 that Christy proved her allegiance to me off camera, and that kind of continued on through all of the seasons because there was a point where Christy was getting very fed up, and that's when she left because Chloe had the eye situation and Abby was out of proportion, and Abby did not treat Chloe and Christy nicely at all, in person and on screen. I was the only mom that went to her when all of that happened, and she decided that she was going to leave. But prior to that season, she was kind of hankering to quit, and she would text me what was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
So then I would already have it in my thoughts that I would spew it out, and the producers would be like,
Yeah.
she even guessed that. And not all the time, and it wasn't, it was far and few between, but Christy would feed me info. And so we just, over the years, have continued to keep communication. I haven't talked to her for a while. I think that was probably the last time that I did talk to her. But there's been times that she's called me on the phone and we've talked. And so I went on, she was live, and I went on, and she was like, oh my gosh, Cathy's on. And then she called me right after that and said, let's do a show. So then that's when we did a show. And it was fun. It was fun doing that. I know why they don't talk to her anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't blame them after watching
That's
That's good.
She, that's the reason why we left. I didn't want to do it. Like the very first time I came home from filming, I said to my husband, I'm going to write them a letter of resignation because I don't like doing this. I went from being on the women's board at a hospital to golfing to, garden club and all of this. And all of a sudden I'm this riffraff lady on a reality show. And hated it. But so second season, Viví went to private school, all of her elementary school. And, I put my money down and everything and said, we're not coming back. And we're not going to live in Pittsburgh. That's for sure. And then that's when they said, well, fine, then we'll come to you and make you have your own team. But I didn't want Viví subjected to Abby because I thought that she was extremely cruel. She tried to get her digs in, for sure. One of the reasons why everybody put up with it was because we were all under contract. I have to laugh because when you read on social media, when you read people say, why don't they just leave? Why didn't they, nobody would ever treat my kid like that, blah, 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 blah. Well, in me trying to write a letter of resignation, they came back and said, you realize that Lifetime is owned by Viacom and blah, blah, blah. And if we want to take your house and sue you, we will. So we were all under contract. And one thing that I didn't do, I finally got a entertainment attorney who was wonderful. And he was out of Atlanta. And he did not sign after, I think it was 3 or 4 years, he wouldn't let me sign. And if they wanted me, every time they wanted me, then he would negotiate with them. And they all signed. Of course, they made tons and tons of money, so. No, they had no idea.
Because that was hilarious.
What's funny about that is I already had something in my brain. I was going to kind of do something like that anyhow. And the producer came up to me and said, now here's what's going to happen. And I went, oh, I'm already prepared for you. So I kind of knew. I read a lot of books and try to figure out things. So analytically, I always feel like I kind of was on the cutting edge of what they were going to do. So I already had all that planned. And I was off when they were filming somebody else that day. I was off over in a corridor rehearsing what I was going to do.
Before, but Abby.
Oh, awful.
Okay, Jill.
Oh, God. I don't have enough words to say what I think about Jill.
That's hilarious.
Move along. Next word.
Okay, Kendall.
Weak.
Okay, Chloe.
Nice girl.
Peyton.
Big mouth.
Shopper, so. Producers.
Conniving.
Kelly.
Oh boy, the first word that came to my mind was drunk, but that's because it was embedded in me from Abby. I don't think Kelly is a drunk.
Right.
I think that Kelly, we never really got close.
Yeah.
But I don't have problems with Kelly.
Right.
Maddie.
Pretty. Pretty girl.
And Brooke.
I'm sorry, Brooke?
Brooke,
Yes.
yeah.
Acrobat.